make the tulips and the ditzy daisies for this Tulip Fields quilt pattern. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. So I'm scrolling the internet, actually not me, Regina, and she came and she said, can we please make this? And I said, duh. Have you seen anything any cuter? So I reached out to Missouri Star Quilt Company and I said, can you please let us make this? And they said, absolutely, Tammy, however you want to make it. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this precious Tulip Fields pattern. We're going to make our flowers 2 different ways because I'm going to show you how the pattern does it, and then I'm going to show you how I did it. And we're going to sew all of these together and make a rag quilt. So you can do this quilt start to finish on your domestic sewing machine at home. There's a free download of this pattern that's linked in the caption. So go download your pattern, get your fabric, and let's go make it. So I've sewn a whole bunch of this for y'all. I'm just trying to figure out what I have. And I have a whole bunch of notes to make sure that whenever we sew it together, I can tell you the sizes that I have. This is real life currently. I should definitely mix all my notes up so I don't know what anything is, right? Okay, so these, aren't these adorable? These are the ditzy daisies, I think the pattern calls them. And they are so easy to do. Ditzy daisies. All you're doing is putting a snowball on the corners of a 5-inch square. Let me show you. So I'm gonna take one 5-inch by 5-inch square, and I'm essentially gonna put a square there, these are the solid colors, a square here, and a square here. It really doesn't matter. You can do it here or here, it really doesn't matter. You just want 3 corners covered. Now you're just gonna sew on a diagonal here, here, and here. You're just gonna sew, and we're gonna clip this corner piece off. Now, you can mark yours if you want to. It's a very small area, so I'm not marking mine. I'm just gonna sew mine straight, but if you want to mark yours, that's perfectly fine. And I'm just gonna sew this with a straight stitch from corner to corner, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because my grandma said so. And what y'all hear in the background is rain. It is raining so hard here. We've sewn our corners. We're just gonna take some scissors or your rotary cutter, whatever you have, and clip your corners off, just like this. Now, this is what you have. You see that? I'm gonna go iron mine, you go iron yours, I'll be right back. I'm back. All right, so if you notice they're different, they are, because guess what? I sewed all of my blocks together before I started this tutorial, so then I had to take some apart. Now our ditzy daisy is a little bit weird how it goes together. Like, I had to look at it and look at it. Well, you see me turning and turning and turning, right? Because it's like these arrows that make this circle. You see how I have them together? Now, I'm gonna take these 2 and sew those together, just like this, pretty side to pretty side, straight stitch, 1/4-inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because my grandma said so. You see that? Now I'm gonna take these 2, same thing, pretty side to pretty side, straight stitch right across here, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because my grandma told me if I didn't, my stuff would fall apart. Now this is what we have, and if you guessed it, you are correct. It is time to go iron it again. You go iron yours, I'm gonna iron mine, I'll be right back. Now this is what I have. Be sure when you're putting your pieces together that you put them back in the way that you want them to go, because it's kind of like a puzzle. We're gonna take the first row, lay it on top of the second row, and sew down this longest side. We're gonna make sure this seam matches whatever we have to do. Pinch it, pull it, or pleat it. Just make sure your seam matches in the center when you're going down. Okay, we've sewn this ditzy daisy block. Now, you have to sew 10 of these because you have 2 rows of them. 1 row here and 1 row here. So I've already sewn mine. We're gonna add this to my second row of 5 and I'll show you my 10. Okay, here's my first row of 5. And here is my second row of 5. And my block's red. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this seam out right here and put this red block in between these 2. Because otherwise I'll have red blocks side by side and I don't really want that. Okay, so I've taken it apart. Now I'm gonna take my ditzy daisy block and I'm gonna lay it pretty side to pretty side. I'm gonna sew right here, open it up, and I'm gonna put this yellow on top of it, pretty side down, sew that, and I'm gonna have a second row of 5. and I'll have my ditzy daisy blocks in this quilt finished. Let's sew this one first. We're gonna sew it with a straight stitch, a 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when we start and when we stop. So I've sewn that one. Now I'm gonna take my yellow pieces and I'm going to put them pretty side down, just like this. And I'm gonna sew right here. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop. Okay, I've sewn my pieces together. You see that? Now, I'm gonna put this to the side and let's work on our tulips. Y'all meet me right back here and we're gonna make these precious tulips. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher and I would love for you to come sew with me.